Hi guys, welcome to the third video under Unit 3 Microsoft Word. So now we're going to basically be looking at the Insert tab. But before we go to the Insert tab, as in a way to refresh our ourselves from the previous section, we're going to reformat our text. So I'm just going to reformat this. So I'm going to use the format painter and I'm going to do that. Then that is fine. And I'm going to need the numbering, so I'm going to do from here up to there. I'm going to do that. Okay, so just use the format painter to copy the format of that text basically to there. And then the other thing which is quite important is, before we move any further, is how do you save your document. So two ways of going about it. You can click the disk button here, which is saving, or you can come to file, then you go to save, which will basically do the same thing. So here you are requested to either browse, or you can save your documents, use your Word documents straight to documents here. So then you are required to give it a meaningful name. So I'm going to call mine my first Word document. Okay, and then here by default this asks you what kind of file document this is, and this in particular case it's a Word document, so I'm going to leave that as default. So I'm going to click save. Then it's saved. Then the moment I click save, then the title also changes. You can now see it's saved under the new title. If I want to save this document differently, I can use the save as feature for me to do that. So again, I click there, but this is going to create a new document for me. So this is my document, so I'll call this my second document, and again same format. But now I have two new documents. Then the other thing is, if you want to maybe save this as PDF, because it's required most times when you're submitting an assignment, you can basically change the type here, save as type, then you can basically do PDF, which normally stands for portable document format. Then of course you can, by default it will save the same file name, and you can just click save. Then you'll have a PDF document generated for you. Then there it goes, being opened. Okay, so after we're done saving our Word document, we should now be able to know how to retrieve it. So from file management, I saved it under documents. I'm not gonna go through that. So here are my two documents as well as the PDF that I created. Okay, now the next thing is the Insert tab. So under the Insert tab, you have a couple of options for you that you might want to insert on your Word document. The first things first, if I was typing an assignment, I can insert a cover page. Basically choose a cover page of your choice. Then this of course comes to the very top of your Word document. I'm just gonna close that. Then I can give it title here, my second document. Then autofilling, the author Anton, company Unam, somewhere in Mandumendem file. Okay, then you have your cover page. After you're done with your cover page, you can go back to your Word document. By default, the cover page of course will ask you to design it, because then you can change a couple of things, but in this particular case I'm going to let your creativity take over there, so that you're able to design your document fairly nice. Okay, so still, and now going back to our Insert tab, so you can insert a blank page. If I wanted to continue to a whole new thing, like leave this as is, then continue to a blank page. So I'm going to do that now. So I'm going to insert a blank page so that I leave my text here, and then here I'll have more room to do other things. Okay, then I can also insert my table on my new page. So when you're inserting a table, you are able to select how much rows or how many columns you want in your table. So in this particular case, I can have a 5 by, that's 4 by, let me make it 4 by 4, because it's cool to say 4 by 4. Okay, 4 by 4. Then I'll have 4 columns and 4 rows. So I can also style my table if I wanted to. You have my shading here. I also have more table styles here that I can select to work with. I also have things like my border styles here, what kind of color I'd want them to be, as well as my layout. So under my layout is where I can decide if I made a mistake in setting a certain number of rows. Of course, I can decide whether insert a row below or above where my cursor is. So if my cursor is here and I click above, it will insert a new clear row above me. If my cursor is here and I decide I want to insert a column on my left, then it will insert a new column for me on my left, and it works the same on the right as well. So if I want to have maybe this as one topic, I can decide to do what is called merging cells. So I can merge this part to be one cell. Then of course you can also do that one, split it in a number of columns, rows, particular case 2 columns, then to undo that. Okay, then of course there's so many things that you can do here. You can also delete your column, rows, or the entire table if you wanted to, and so on. So go back to our layout, to our insert tab. So the other thing is that is very quick. I should be quick to point out is once you click in a table, you should notice that the tools which are supposed to work on that table will come here for you. So as you can see, you have table tools. So this is only unique to the table. So once you click on the table, that shows up. If I click anywhere else, it disappears. Click on the table, it shows up. So this basically enables you to style your table, or these are the tools that enable you to work on your table. I click anywhere else, again it disappears. If I wanted, I could basically still do the same by right clicking on my table. I should be able to do other things like insert, column, rows, and stuff like that, but I find it easier to work with from here than to right click there. Okay, and then from there, still under the insert, you can always insert your picture. Hope I don't have any pictures on my computer, but you can do that. It just basically needs a location of where the picture is going to come from. Then you can select if you want it to be online from the internet, you can do that. Now the interesting part is normally how do you insert your shapes. So here now is a bunch of shapes that you can use depending on the need. So for example, if you're designing maybe a certificate, of course you can use a star. Then you can set it somewhere. So for you to insert a shape, basically come to the shapes button, look for the shape that you are looking for. The shapes all have names, so you just hover around the shape, just bring your mouse on that shape and it will tell you what kind of shape that is. So in this particular case, we are looking at a 12-point star. I can bring my mouse elsewhere. Then we are looking at the horizontal scroll. I can take it elsewhere. Then we are looking at the flowchart data. Then I can still take it elsewhere. We are looking at the smiley face. Okay, let's select the smiley face. Then of course your cross shows up, basically asking you to where you want to insert your shape. So I click it here, then my shape is inserted for me. Now a shape has 4 anchor points, which is that, and that. So this is also found on any object that you might be working on. You'll also find the table has an anchor point there, so that basically enables you to increase or decrease the size. Something with the shape, you are also able to increase the size of the shape here by dragging in and outwards horizontally, or you can also increase the shape width only by of course dragging in on the anchor points on the left and right, or height by dragging on the anchor points on the bottom or top. The little button here on the top part basically enables you to rotate your object. So I can rotate it like so, leave it there, or I can rotate it like that, leave it there. Then of course, if I want to drag this shape, you'll notice the cross with 4 arrows pointing in all 4 directions. So this basically enables me to drag my shape in a different place. Certain shapes only allow you to drag them from a certain location, normally from here, so on the borders of the shape, to drag it in a different place. Okay, then notice now, once I click on this smiley face, I also have the drawing tools specific only to this shape that I've inserted. So under format here, I can do a couple of things. I can select the color I want inside, and the shape fill, you can select orange. You can also select the outline that you want, which is basically these lines here on the outside. So I can select that, and then I can even select the weight of it. Maybe I want it to be thick, then you'll have something like that. You can also select the colors that you'd want this to be, maybe a contrasting color. Okay, then you can the effects as well. Maybe you want a shadow. Doesn't look, didn't come out. Okay, let's see, maybe that doesn't look nice. Then this is the perfect time to do undo. Okay, then of course other things you can do are word wrap, which basically means that you put text around your shape. Just quickly see how that works out. Okay, actually skipped it on top. Okay, so I'm just quickly going to undo that, and then yeah, that's the thing. We already spoke about rotating it. And then you can also insert another shape. So most times people will ask you to if it's an assignment like in computer literacy, they'll normally ask you to insert a specific shape. So somebody can say insert like a 10-point star or something, and you basically do the same thing. And you can increase its size. You can also change the shape fill. As well as the outline. Certain shapes you are able to add some text inside, so you can also just right click on there, then you can add some text inside your shape. You can also change the font type of this text. You can use this tool here that shows up, or you can just basically go to home and you should be able to change the font specification. In this particular case, let me just make it black, that it's much more visible. Yeah, you can also change the formatting of that font. Okay, and then still under insert, and the smart art and the charts are basically the same thing. So this is quite useful when you're working with Excel. Then you need to import something from Excel, a chart from Excel to Word. Maybe you need to send the report or something with the data from Excel, so this becomes useful for you to work with chart. A screenshot enables you to basically take a screen of like what you are seeing and insert it in your Word document. So I'm just going to set one. So in this particular case, I have no available windows open, so I only have screen clipping. But if I have a window open, I'm just going to open another one here, which is my file manager. I'm going to go back to window, to Word, then I already have that. So it basically gives you available windows that you already have open on your computer. One of them is that. then I can select that, and then it takes a screenshot of that, basically just a picture of my open window. If not, I can always use the screen clipping. It's a little challenging, but it works. So click on it, then you click on screen clipping, and then the whole window should go gray. That basically gives you the option to now drag from wherever you want to capture to the end. So in this particular case, we can capture from somewhere there, dragging all the way to the end, and then capturing my entire screen. And then of course, once it's a picture, again you have your picture tools here to enable you to format the picture, things like crop to be able to maybe take out the unnecessary information. Of course, with all objects, you should also be able to move it around, increase the size, rotate, and so on and so on. Okay, so under insert, not going to look at the comments, we'll look into that under review. So you can also have a header, which is basically text that appears on the top of each and every page of your document, but from the cover page. So I can insert a header, and then here type text here will appear on all the pages. Let me just put something here. I'm just going to put my name, first document. Then again, once I'm in the header, you should notice that I have the header and footer tools open. If I'm done, I can click that to close it, and then you'd have your header appearing there on both pages apart from the cover page. And then the other thing which is interesting is the footer, which now goes to the bottom of your page. So here I can type my footer, then again this will appear at the bottom of both my pages apart from my cover page. And then of course, page numbers, I can decide to have a page number at the bottom, top, or by the margins on the left or right. Then here I can basically say, okay, fine, give me one at the bottom in the center. Then of course I'll have that there. Now if you insert your page number, it basically overrides your current settings for your header, but you could just basically type your header, your footer rather, somewhere else. So I can say here that, then my footer will still be there, and my page number will continue increasing, of course, but my footer will remain the same. Then of course you have things like your text box here and your word art. It just basically enables you to have things like that. Text box is just to have a certain box that you can have your text in, that you can then be able to move around in certain sections, as opposed to having your text in one place. Then the other thing which I wanted to do before we conclude this video was the signature line and date. So signature line basically enables you to insert a signature line where somebody's gonna sign on top of it. Name probably. Okay, normally it needs more time. And the date enables you to insert the date in a certain unit. Of course, you can select the format you want here. Now, if you click update automatically, this basically means the date will give the current date when the document is open. So if somebody opens this document 50 years from now, it will give that date for that time when it's opened. Okay. Then here you have your equations. if you are working on mathematical equations, you can use these functions for you to be able to insert some equations in your Word document. Then you also have some symbols here that you might want to work on. Then you have more symbols at the bottom, and you can also have the subset here. There's so many that you can work on, symbols that you can insert. Okay, so that concludes our insert tab. In the next tab we are looking at the design tab.